Hola a todos, soy Mike. En el video de hoy vamos a aprender acerca de las formas accidentales en español. Hi everybody, this is Mike. In this video, we're going to learn about accidental constructions in Spanish. So, what are accidental constructions in Spanish? Accidental constructions in Spanish are sentences that we use in order to describe unintentional actions or events. This happens where the focus is on the result, on the action, rather than on who performed the action. It's like, okay, it wasn't my fault, right? These constructions suggest that whatever happens to the person rather than being caused by them directly. So that's why we call that accidental constructions. For example, if we say I forgot my keys, we imply that we are responsible for losing the keys. I can say yo perdí mis llaves, right? But in Spanish, we just don't want to feel responsible for that. So we use that accidental construction and we say olvidé las llaves or se me olvidaron las llaves, which is the real accidental construction. And this would be something like the keys has been forgotten by me, or it was just an accident that I forgot the keys. It's not my fault. Se me olvidaron las llaves. So the key features on accidental constructions are, first, the use of the pronoun se. That pronoun se is a marker used to signal that the action was unintentional. That's very important. We always use se in accidental constructions. Then we use indirect object pronouns. If you are quite new to object pronouns or maybe unsure, I recommend to watch the video that we have in which we explain in detail object pronouns in Spanish, especially indirect object pronouns. So the person who experiences or is affected by the action but didn't intend for that to happen is always indicated by an indirect object pronoun like me, te, le, nos, les. Remember, please check the video on object pronouns in Spanish. And then we have the conjugation of the verb. The verb is typically conjugated in the third person. This is in order to reflect that it was an accidental event, right? So the verb always agrees in number with the object, but not the person affected, with the object, okay? Because we're trying to release the person from the responsibility of the accidental event. So there's something that is the dative of interest, and it plays an important role when it comes to accidental constructions in Spanish. The dative of interest, and we're going to have a video about this in detail, refers to the use of an indirect object pronouns like me, te, le, nos, les that indicate who is affected by the action. In accidental constructions, these pronouns highlight the person who suffers the consequences of whatever is happening, even though they are not responsible for causing that action. In this construction, the pronoun takes on the role of showing personal involvement or interest in the action. Not really as a direct agent, but as someone impacted by the accidental occurrence of whatever is happening. So in this way, the action appears to happen to them. It's like, okay, it's happening to them rather than being performed by them. And that way we're basically saying it's not my responsibility. I'm not to blame about this. Some examples of these constructions in order for you to fully understand this. Let's say we have these examples and we will see how it works. Se me olvidó el libro. It would be like I forgot the book, but I forgot the book is olvidé el libro, right? But when I say se me olvidó el libro, it conveys that accidental construction saying, no, it wasn't my fault. It would be something like the book got forgotten by me, which is something that we wouldn't say in English, but just for you to have an idea. In this construction, se me olvidó el libro, se marks the event as accidental. Me is the dative pronoun showing that it was that it was me, the one who was affected by forgetting the book, even though it wasn't intentional. And olvidó is the verb. It's in the it's in the third person singular, agreeing with el libro, which is lo, right? Se me olvidó el libro, third person singular, olvidó. Uh, let's check this one. Se te perdió el celular. It's like you lost the cell phone, right? But your cell phone got lost on you. Something like, I know it wasn't your fault. So I could say, perdí el celular, intentional, or se me perdió, perdiste el celular, intentional, or se te perdió el celular, unintentional, accidental construction. Se marks it was accidental. Te is the pronoun showing that you are the one affected by losing the phone. And perdió is the third person singular agreeing with el celular, right? Third person singular. El celular, one thing. Se le rompieron los lentes. So se marks that the action is accidental. Le is the pronoun indicating that he or she, it could be he, she, you, formal, you, plural. No, yeah, you, formal, singular. And rompieron is the third person plural, agreeing with los lentes. In this case, it's plural. Los lentes, the glasses, rompieron. And this one, se nos quedaron las llaves en casa. We left the keys at home. That would be intentional, and it wasn't my fault. Se nos quedaron, well, our fault. Se nos quedaron las llaves en la casa. We left the keys at home unintentionally, pretty much. So se marks that the event was an accident. Nos indicates that the group us is the one who's affected by the action. And quedaron is the third person plural, agreeing with las llaves, which is the keys, plural, third person, quedaron. So, in a nutshell, the structure of accidental constructions, the typical structure is se, which always marks the action as accidental, indirect object pronoun, showing who is affected by the event, which is the dative of interest. The verb conjugating in the third person, singular or plural, it has to agree with the object that undergoes the action, and the object itself, the thing that is affected, what is forgotten, what is dropped, what is broken, whatever. So why the dative of interest is essential here? And remember, I'm going to have another video fully explaining the dative of interest. The dative pronoun is crucial in accidental constructions because it adds a layer of meaning. Without this, the sentence would lose the idea of who's affected by the accident. Okay, and let's say if we have se rompieron los lentes, the glasses broke. We only know that the glasses were broken. That's it. Se rompieron los lentes, but we don't know who is affected by this. In the case of se le rompieron las lentes, that dative of interest, which is the indirect object pronoun, shows that it was either he, she, or you, or it, or you, singular or formal, you see? So in essence, the dative of interest personalizes the action, showing that someone experienced the consequences of an unintentional event, okay? So there are some common mistakes that we can make when using the dative of interest in accidental constructions. One is when you omit the dative pronoun. Sometimes that happens. So forgetting to include the dative pronoun can lead to ambiguity about who was affected, like the example that we just said. So if I say se cayó el plato, I can say se cayó el plato, but I don't say who was affected by that. If I say se me cayó el plato, okay, I'm using the dative pronoun, the indirect object pronoun, so I know it was I, the one who was affected by the accident. Sometimes we can misuse the dative of interest. So this is always when it comes to unintended actions. So when we use this with deliberate actions, it can be incorrect. So if I say se me fui a la tienda, I went to the store, it sounds pretty awful. I just say fui a la tienda, that's it, without se and without me, because it doesn't have to do with an accent. I went to the store by myself. It was something that I did because I wanted, so it doesn't matter. And the other common mistake is when there's an incorrect verb agreement. So either we have singular verb, singular conjugation with singular objects, or plural verb conjugation with plural objects. But it would be incorrect to mix that. So I can say, if I can say, se me rompieron los platos. Los platos, plural, rompieron, the verb conjugation that comes with plural. But if I say, se me rompió los platos, that's wrong, because rompió is singular and platos is plural. So that's another mistake. So in a nutshell, accidental constructions in Spanish are built around the idea of unintentional actions, where the person affected by the action is indicated by a dative pronoun, indirect object pronoun. This pronoun always personalizes the event and emphasizes that the action wasn't a deliberate action. Even though it was not a deliberate action, it still had consequences on somebody. Okay, and these constructions often use the marker se, and the verbs are always in the third person, not by the person who's being affected. So this is pretty much it. And that's something that we do a lot in Spanish, because part of a cultural thing here is that we usually don't like to be responsible of things. So that's the reason why we always do that. And if you are going to go to places in which you're going to be with Spanish native speakers, you will hear that a lot. And even though it's not necessarily, sometimes we do that. So that's something for you to understand. So that's pretty much about accidental constructions. I hope this can be helpful for you. So now your mission, should you choose to accept it, is first start doing exercises, right? Start doing exercises, trying to build sentences, trying to convey that. Like you can say, okay, I forgot my keys. Olvidé las llaves, intentional. Se me olvidaron las llaves, unintentional. You see how those structures are different, but convey pretty much the same, but a different way, the same idea. So try and do that. Then read a lot, because by reading in Spanish, you will find that. Try to spot where accidental constructions are presented. Oh, there's an accidental construction. Same thing, next step, by listening. Audios, news, podcast, watching videos, and then start using that. Try to get a language exchange partner and start practicing. This can be kind of tricky, but please practice, study this a lot. If when you're starting with your exercises, like writing out, creating your own sentences, you have issues, please check the video as many times as you need. And if you're still in doubt, leave a comment. I'll reply as soon as possible. If you like this video, remember, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, group, social media, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button in order to get notifications, because we are posting videos on a weekly basis. Plus, every time I post a video, the next Tuesday around 6:30 p.m. Colombian time, I go live in order to go and review. And if you have questions, you can be there. If you are a subscriber, you can be part of the chat. It's for free. You don't have to pay anything. So that's good. So hope this has been helpful. Keep on learning, keep studying. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video, and have fun. Espero que sigan estudiando, sigan aprendiendo, le metan muchas ganas a esto. Nos vemos en un próximo video. Bye bye.